The crowd falls silent. A man lies motionless on the canvas, his body broken, his face bloodied. 16 feet above, the steel cage door swings open like a gateway to hell itself. This is Hell in a Cell, 1998, and the man who just fell through. That table isn't moving, but here's what nobody knew in that moment. The man they called Mankind, the hardcore legend who sacrificed his body for our entertainment, would one day be worth millions, not just from wrestling, not just from the pain he endured, but from something far more unexpected. His name is Mick Foley, and his story will shock you. Picture a young boy in East Seneca, Long Island. It's 1975. 10-year-old Mick Foley sits glued to his television screen, watching wrestling with wide, mesmerized eyes. His father works as a government employee. His mother tends to the home. They're middle class. They're normal. They have no idea their son is about to choose a path that will nearly destroy him. "I want to be a wrestler," little Mick tells his parents one evening at dinner. His father looks up from his plate. "Wrestling, son, that's not a real career." But Mick's eyes burn with something his father doesn't understand. Obsession, the kind that changes everything. By high school, Mick is already different. While other kids are playing football or chasing girls, he's studying wrestling tapes like they're textbooks. He's not the biggest kid. He's not the strongest, but he has something else, something dangerous. He has no fear of pain. The transformation begins in his backyard. Armed with a video camera and pure reckless abandon, teenage Mick starts filming himself performing increasingly insane stunts. He jumps off his roof onto mattresses. He crashes through tables. He throws himself down flights of stairs. "Mick, you're going to kill yourself," his friends warn him. He just smiles. "Maybe, but I'm going to be famous first." The tapes get attention. Not from Hollywood, not from modeling agencies, but from the underground wrestling world where pain equals profit and insanity equals opportunity. 1986. A 21-year-old, Mick Foley, drives to the Monster Factory Wrestling School in New Jersey. He has $300 in his pocket. No connections, no athletic scholarship. Just a dream that most people would call a nightmare. The training is brutal. Veterans twice his age beat him senseless daily. They tell him he's too slow, too small, too weird-looking. But Mick keeps coming back, day after day, bruise after bruise, because he understands something they don't in wrestling. Sometimes being broken is better than being perfect. His first professional match pays him $25. $25 to have his face smashed into concrete, to bleed for strangers, to pretend to be a character called Cactus Jack, a deranged cowboy who feels no pain. But it's not pretending. Not really. The early years are hell. Mick travels from town to town in a beat-up car, sleeping in cheap motels, eating gas station food. He wrestles in high school gyms for crowds of 50 people. He makes maybe $200 a week. Good weeks, his body is falling apart. His ears are cauliflowered from countless impacts. His teeth are loose. His joints ache constantly. He's 24 years old, and he feels like he's 60. "This isn't working," he tells himself one night, lying in another dingy motel room, counting. Bruises like other people count sheep. But then something happens. A phone call that changes everything. "Mick, it's Jim Ross from WCW. We want you in Atlanta. World Championship Wrestling. The big leagues, not the biggest, but big enough." Suddenly, Mick Foley isn't just some crazy guy bleeding in high school gyms. He's Cactus Jack, television personality. The money improves. Not dramatically, but enough. Instead of $200 a week, he's making maybe $800. He can afford better hotels, better food. Better painkillers, but success in wrestling comes with a price tag written in scars. 1994. Mick is wrestling in Germany against Vader, a 450-pound monster. One wrong move, and Vader's massive boot connects with Mick's face. The impact is sickening. Mick's ear is literally ripped from his head. "Get me to a hospital," Mick mumbles through the blood. The show must go on, the promoter insists, so Mick continues wrestling, with his ear hanging by a thread. The crowd goes insane. They've never seen anything like it. Neither have the cameras. The footage spreads like wildfire through wrestling circles. Mick Foley becomes the man who lost his ear and kept wrestling. But losing an ear is nothing compared to what comes next. 2000. At 34 years old, Mick Foley announces his retirement from active wrestling. His body can't take any more. His mind is foggy from too many concussions. His family needs him alive more than wrestling needs him broken. But retirement doesn't mean the end of income. It means the beginning of something smarter. While his body heals, Mick discovers something unexpected. He can write. Not just wrestling storylines, but actual books, real literature. His first autobiography, Have a Nice Day, becomes a New York Times bestseller. Suddenly, publishers are calling. We want more Mick Foley books. Foley is Good follows. Another bestseller, then The Hardcore Diaries. Each book advances his net worth while allowing his body to recover, but the real money comes from understanding. Something most wrestlers never figure out. Ownership. Instead of just appearing on television, Mick starts producing. Instead of just wrestling, he develops characters and storylines. Instead of just being talent, he becomes a brand. The speaking circuit opens up. Colleges pay him thousands of dollars to tell his story. Corporate events want the man who survived Hell in a Cell. Motivational speaking becomes a steady income stream. Pain is temporary, he tells audiences. But the lessons you learn from surviving pain last forever. The phrase becomes his trademark. Companies pay him $50,000 for a single speech. Meanwhile, his investment advisor is working magic with his wrestling earnings. Real estate portfolios, stock investments, business partnerships. The money Mick earned by destroying his body is now making money while he sleeps. By 2005, conservative estimates put Mick Foley's net worth at around $3 million. Not bad for a retired wrestler. But he's just getting started. Television producers come calling. They want the Mick Foley story adapted for documentaries. They want him as a consultant on wrestling shows. They want his expertise on pain and survival. Each project adds another revenue stream, another investment opportunity. Another step away from the man who used to bleed for pocket change. The wrestling world keeps evolving. But Mick's role in it becomes more valuable over time. Vintage Mankind merchandise sells for premium prices. His classic matches are featured in compilation DVDs that generate royalty payments. Young wrestlers seek him out for training and advice. He charges consultant fees that exceed what he used to make for entire matches. Experience, he tells them, is the most expensive education you can get. But it's also the most valuable. His social media presence grows. Hundreds of thousands of followers hang on his every word. Sponsors pay him to endorse products, not wrestling gear, legitimate consumer products for mainstream audiences. The transformation is complete. Mick Foley has evolved from hardcore wrestler to multimedia entrepreneur. 2015. Technology creates new opportunities Mick never imagined during his wrestling career. Podcast advertising, digital media partnerships, online course creation. The internet rewards expertise and authentic storytelling, both areas where Mick excels. His podcast garners millions of downloads. Sponsors pay premium rates to reach his dedicated audience. Topics range from wrestling history to pain management to overcoming adversity. Life, he tells his podcast audience, is about falling down and getting back up. I should know. I fell 16 feet and lived to talk about it. The authenticity resonates. Listeners aren't just wrestling fans anymore. They're people dealing with their own pain, their own challenges, their own falls from grace. This broader appeal opens doors to mainstream entertainment opportunities. Acting roles in independent films. Guest appearances on popular television shows. Voiceover work for animated projects. Each project pays well, but more importantly, each project expands his brand beyond wrestling into general entertainment. Financial analysts estimate Mick Foley's net worth has grown to approximately $8 million. The bulk of this wealth comes not from his wrestling career, but from the intellectual property and business opportunities that career created. Real estate investments have appreciated significantly. His Long Island properties have tripled in value. Investment portfolios managed by top financial advisors have grown consistently over 2 decades of smart money management. But Mick hasn't forgotten his roots. Charitable work becomes a significant part of his public persona. Organizations focused on traumatic brain injury research receive substantial donations. Youth wrestling programs benefit from his time and money. Giving back, he explains in interviews, isn't just about money. It's about using your platform to help others avoid the mistakes you made. The charitable work enhances his reputation, leading to more speaking engagements, more book deals, more opportunities to monetize his expertise and experience. 22 to marks. A significant milestone. Wrestling entertainment companies begin offering Legends contracts to retired performers. These agreements provide steady income in exchange for limited appearances and promotional work. 2023 brings technological innovations that create entirely new revenue streams, NFTs and digital collectibles. Virtual reality experiences featuring classic matches. AI-powered content creation tools that help develop new wrestling storylines. And characters. Mick partners with technology companies to create immersive experiences based on his most famous matches. Fans can experience Hell in a Cell from his perspective using virtual reality technology. The licensing deals for these experiences generate substantial upfront payments, plus ongoing royalties. Artificial intelligence companies seek his input for developing realistic wrestling simulation games. His expertise commands consulting fees that exceed his original wrestling salaries. The gaming industry offers additional opportunities. Mobile games featuring classic wrestlers. Console games that recreate famous matches. Online gaming platforms that allow fans to compete as their favorite wrestling characters. Each technological advancement creates new ways to monetize decades of wrestling history and expertise. As we approach 2024, Mick Foley's financial portfolio represents a masterclass in leveraging athletic achievement into long-term wealth creation. Multiple revenue streams provide stability and growth potential far beyond what any wrestling career could offer alone. Conservative estimates suggest his net worth has reached approximately $12 million. This figure includes real estate holdings, investment portfolios, intellectual property rights, licensing agreements, and ongoing business ventures. But the numbers tell only part of the story. The real achievement is transformation. From a young man who literally threw himself off buildings for $5 to a multimedia entrepreneur who earns thousands while sleeping. The journey required sacrifice most people can't imagine. Physical pain that would break lesser individuals. Mental challenges that destroyed many of his contemporaries. Family pressures that ended numerous wrestling careers. Yet, Mick survived. More than survived. He thrived by understanding that his greatest asset wasn't his ability to take punishment. It was his ability to tell the story of taking that punishment. People pay for stories. They pay for inspiration. They pay for proof that ordinary people can overcome extraordinary challenges. Mick Foley has become that proof. His speaking fees now exceed $50,000 for major corporate events. His books continue selling decades after publication. His wrestling matches generate revenue every time someone watches them on any digital platform. The man who once asked for just enough money to pay for gas to the next town now owns multiple properties, investment portfolios, and business ventures across various industries. But perhaps the most impressive aspect of his financial success is its sustainability. Unlike many athletes who earn significant money during short careers only to lose it afterward, Mick built systems that generate ongoing income without requiring ongoing physical sacrifice. His body has healed as much as it ever will. His mind remains sharp despite decades of punishment. His brand continues growing stronger with each passing year. Young entrepreneurs study his transition from performer to business owner. Financial advisors use his story to illustrate the importance of diversification and long-term planning. Entertainment. Industry professionals examine his strategies for extending career longevity beyond physical prime. As 2025 unfolds, current estimates place Mick Foley's net worth at approximately $15 million. This represents a 15,000% increase from his $25 debut. Matched nearly 4 decades ago, the growth trajectory shows no signs of slowing. New streaming platforms emerge regularly, each seeking classic content. Technology. Companies continue developing innovative ways to monetize entertainment history. Publishing opportunities expand as new generations discover his story. Mick's approach to wealth building offers lessons far beyond wrestling or entertainment: diversification, long-term thinking, brand development, multiple revenue streams, strategic partnerships, continuous adaptation to changing markets. Most importantly, he demonstrates that expertise earned through extreme experience commands premium compensation across multiple industries and decades. The boy who wanted to be a wrestler became much more. He became a case study in turning passion into profit, pain into gain, and temporary fame into lasting financial security. Today, Mick Foley represents the ultimate transformation. From hardcore wrestler to smart investor. From damaged performer to savvy businessman. From someone who sold his body to someone who built an empire. His story continues, inspiring others to pursue their dreams, no matter how impossible they might seem. But it also teaches practical lessons about building wealth that extends far beyond any single career or industry. The man who fell 16 feet and lived to tell about it has risen much higher in the years since. Not just financially, but as an example of what's possible when talent meets determination meets smart planning. Mick Foley's net worth in 2025 reflects more than money. It reflects the value of perseverance, the power of storytelling, and the importance of evolution. He proved that even the most unlikely dreams can become profitable realities, and his story reminds us that sometimes the biggest risks lead to the greatest rewards the next time someone tells you your dreams are impossible. Remember the kid from Long Island who jumped off his roof to become a millionaire? If you found this story as compelling as we did, make sure to subscribe for more incredible journeys from rags to riches. These stories prove that with enough determination, anyone can rewrite their destiny. What dreams are you willing to fight for? Let us know in the comments below.